Imagine an ordinary man, a janitor and gas station attendant who lived a simple life in a small Vermont town. No one, not even his closest friends, suspected that this man harbored an extraordinary secret. Upon his death, he left behind a fortune of almost $8 million. Today, we'll tell you his incredible story and the lessons we can all learn from this unexpected millionaire. Ronald James Read was born on October 23, 1921, in Dummerston, Vermont, into a family of poor farmers. From a young age, Ronald demonstrated admirable determination. He was the first in his family to graduate from high school, a notable achievement for someone who walked nearly 6 miles each day to get to class. During World War II, he served as a military police officer in Italy, and after the war, he returned to his small town to work at a gas station. Ronald lived extremely frugally. He drove an old Toyota Yaris and wore his coat until it was completely worn out. He was so frugal that his neighbors thought he could barely make ends meet, to the point where some offered to buy him breakfast at the local cafe. His family didn't even fully understand his strategies and went along with his lifestyle. But Ronald wasn't a poor man, he was someone who understood the power of saving and investing. So, how did a man who worked as a janitor and gas station attendant accumulate millions? The answer lies in his disciplined approach to investing. Ronald began buying stocks in solid companies like Procter & Gamble, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Johnson & Johnson. His strategy was simple but powerful: invest in dividend-paying companies and maintain those investments for the long term. Of course, he also had losses, such as the shares he had bought in Lehman Brothers, but his diversification strategy paid off in the long run. He didn't let himself be seduced by trends or tech stocks he didn't understand. Instead, he stayed true to what he knew, reinvesting dividends to buy more shares and leveraging the power of compound interest. This approach, combined with his longevity, allowed him to multiply his money exponentially. In fact, this is the most popular and, to some extent, simple way to accumulate wealth that most books and financial advisors recommend. You save as much money as possible in a fixed manner, meaning the first thing you do when receiving your salary is to set aside that portion intended for investment, and the second part is precisely a passive and well-diversified investment, and that's all. As you can see, you too can replicate this system. For the first part, it's enough to create a budget. You can write down all your expenses and eliminate those that aren't essential and don't contribute to personal well-being and development. Once this percentage is established, you should set it aside immediately when you receive your salary, and you can do this automatically depending on the tools your preferred bank offers. There are many ways to diversify investments and keep them secure. While Ronald did his homework and researched various companies, buying shares only in those he understood and that offered good projections, you can do it without having to research company by company, thanks to ETFs. These are shared funds where your money always follows a previously established standard, for example, ETFs that track the S&P 500, a list of the 500 largest companies in the United States. Similarly, there are many others that invest in developing nations, particular sectors like technology companies, or real estate companies. You'll just need to research what each one invests in, which company manages it, and if it's trustworthy, the two most popular being Vanguard and BlackRock, and buy from your trusted brokerage. This step might seem intimidating, but currently, there are many tools and institutions that allow you to invest in the stock market easily and without having to spend large amounts. For example, in Mexico, you can do it through any of the major banks or from as little as 100 pesos in regulated applications like GBM. And finally, the most complicated part where most people fail: patience. Investing is a very long-term plan, and it's a path where you'll likely have short-term losses. The trick is to be patient and stay calm during each financial turbulence, and even when you temporarily see your assets fall, in the long term, the market has always gone up. Our recommendation during times of crisis is to do nothing. Your emotions will make you want to withdraw with losses before your money completely disappears. Self-proclaimed experts will tell you that, on the contrary, it's time to invest more. But the best thing will always be to stay true to your previously reasoned strategy and not get carried away by the heat of the moment. Thanks to this, when Ronald passed away in 2014 at the age of 92, he was able to leave most of his fortune to his local community. He donated $1.2 million to the Brooks Memorial Library and $4.8 million to Brattleboro Memorial Hospital. These donations were the largest these institutions had ever received, and his legacy continues to benefit the people of his town. Ronald Read's story is a reminder that you don't need a high salary to accumulate wealth. Patience, frugality, and smart investing can lead to surprising results. Although Ronald didn't live ostentatiously, he understood that the true value of his money lay in the freedom it offered and the impact it could have after his death. Ronald Read's story is an inspiration. It teaches us that, regardless of our circumstances, we can build a solid financial future if we are disciplined, live within our means, and make intelligent decisions with our money. Ronald lived a simple life, but his impact endures, reminding us that true wealth isn't always measured in terms of luxury, but in the legacy we leave behind. Even with all of the above, we don't completely agree with Ronald's philosophy, particularly because we don't consider the accumulation of money for money's sake as a healthy goal. Instead, wealth accumulation should be seen only as the creation of a tool that allows you to better enjoy your life, have freedom of movement and choice in how to spend your days, enjoy better options in areas as important as health, food, or education, and of course, recreation should also be included. But the path in building your wealth should also be enjoyed. Living a life as frugal as Ronald did isn't necessarily beneficial, as extremes in general tend to be harmful. Both the spendthrift who has no provisions for their future and the compulsive saver who can't enjoy specific moments in their life due to the eagerness to accumulate will suffer regrets and remorse at the end of the road. So remember, the best thing is always to seek a good balance, save and invest thinking about your future, but also allocate what's necessary to live and enjoy the journey, always without neglecting either aspect. And that's the life of Ronald Read, the janitor who became a millionaire. What do you think? Do you believe this story is admirable and should be imitated, or do you prefer another strategy? If you liked or found this video helpful, give it a like, or if you prefer, subscribe. We upload videos weekly. Until next time.